Hi, my name's Paul Scalzo. I'm with Westchester Modular Homes of Fairfield County, Inc. I'm with John Colucci from the factory,
Hi,
Westchester
Paul.
Modular, and Dave Dillman, the sales manager here at Westchester Modular Homes.
Hey, Paul.
So I want to talk about very shortly how we fix problems, like when a bathroom comes from the factory, and let's say the walls are off in the shower. How do we go and, you're here to hear it, and it's the first you're hearing about it. So tell us what we're going to do. Tell me what we do, because we all make mistakes in building, but we always correct our mistakes.
Right. Listen, no question. Building is not a perfect science.
Right.
Okay. Perfectly clear. So you got two different scenarios. If you guys are doing a turnkey for a customer, right? You're the general contractor. Then you would have your contractor, your sub, let you know that, hey, we've got a wall at a square, and it's prohibiting you from putting tile on that bathroom wall properly. And you would then call our customer service department, Steve Sokol and Mike Haney. You would make them aware of the issue, and then you're going to show them, whether it's a level or you're using a tape measure that is at a square. Then they're going to pay you to fix it.
All right. So just so everybody knows, I brought this up without John and Dave knowing about it, because we had one house. We've done 700 houses with the factory. First time we've had this issue, one came with a little plumb out in the shower. So I want to know, when you go back to the factory, how do you make sure that doesn't happen again when a house comes out of the factory? We always repair everything we do, and you guys are great to work with. The documentation goes back and forth. You guys are there always to service everybody.
Right.
And just short commercial for them. They're on their 8,000th home. You don't get to 8,000 homes unless you do things right. But what can you do in the factory so that this doesn't happen again?
No, very good question. So what happens is customer service gets together with production every week.
Okay.
And they actually pull people off the production line. And in this particular case, they would pull people out of the wall department, bring them into the meeting, and they would explain to them what they're finding out in the field and identify why is it happening in the factory, so they can correct the problem so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and for all you modular home buyers, I've heard in the past other manufacturers, people have called me where they had sheetrock issues, not Westchester Modular Homes, but another factory, and they want to know why it didn't happen with you guys, and it must be because you have those kind of meetings, right?
We do. Listen, if you don't do that, you're never going to improve, and things just get worse, right? So you just gotta figure out what the issue is, talk to the right people on the production line, and then it's up to our quality control managers on the production line to monitor that, because they're a part of that meeting as well.
So, David, what's the worst issue you've ever seen come out of the factory that you can think of? Like, I have one that I'll tell a quick story on, but you go first.
I would say one of the things is a problem with one of the kitchens, and that was the worst thing that happened. And it wasn't necessarily a Westchester problem at all. It may have been a manufacturing problem with a cabinet, something along those lines. That's the worst thing that I've seen. And the nice part is that between us and the factory, we resolved it for the client as well. So at the end of the day, it wasn't.
What'd you do? Pull out the cabinets?
We did, as a matter of fact. And the
factory wrote a check?
The cabinet manufacturer, the factory, and ourselves all participated, and the end result is we addressed the issue and it was resolved.
Right.
That'd be a good testimonial you'll get from those people.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah. So, stuff happens. I'll just tell a little short story. John, I think you were there. There's a client named Gradwell.
Doesn't ring any bells.
A long time ago, probably my 10th house. We've done 700 houses.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, the roof came in. Roof structure did not work. Complicated house. The next day, Chuck Hatcher, the owner of the company, sent a crane out and 15 people, and we redid that structure in less than 3 days, had it shingled. And the reason why we did that is he had a 45-day window to close on his house for either his mortgage company or tax consequences or something, and we accomplished it. That's a story worth telling, and I could go into more detail, but that's one way the factory came in.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you mentioned
Chuck
Hatcher. I do remember that, believe it or not. So that's a testament to Chuck, who started the company, as you know, and he has kind of bred all of us that have worked for Chuck. I've been there 33 years now. that kind of attitude and that kind of policy, he's really embedded into the management team.
And the thing I remember most about that time we were working with David Gradwell was the crane was up and a huge lightning storm came. It was in the middle of this summer, and we all had to kind of leave or run or whatever and get out of the way. We were afraid the crane was going to get hit by lightning.
Right.
Yeah, we had to stop. You do remember this?
I do. Totally.
Wow. John, this is 30 years ago.
I do.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So why don't you wrap this up, Dave?
Great. Paul, good to bring up that type of a discussion.
All the problems we have?
All the problems that we have. No, but you know what? The world isn't a perfect place.
Yeah.
Construction, while it's automated, there's a lot of man-made products that go into it. Occasionally there are challenges. The important thing is the factory and ourselves always stand by it.
Well, the mark of a good company, whether it's our company, the factory, or whether it's you, the builder out in the field, the mark of a good company is not whether or not it's got problems, it's what it does about those problems.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's why you guys are on your 8,000th house and we're over 700 homes.
Yeah, we're super
So
excited.
I surprised John Colucci with this, but I thought he did very well. Thank you very much for watching.